So, this is weird. This is really strange. So, where to begin? Alright, so, Laura K. Buzz, a games journalist, does a show on her channel, which is called Accessibility. Which is about, well, really accessibility for games. How games help in, well, making games accessible to more people. Like, the most obvious thing for this would be subtitles for people who are deaf. Or certain color palettes for people who are colorblind. But today, she released, and that's today, the day this is recorded, not today, the day this is uploaded. She uploaded a video on games that, well, how games kind of should probably also offer support for dyslexic people. People who've been on my channel for a while will know that I'm dyslexic. Reading is not easy. Reading takes energy. And there are certain fonts that are better or worse for that. Just quite comically, Comic Sans is quite a good font actually. But she did a video on that, and the weird part is kind of how validated? Not even validate, that's not the correct word. How considered I feel. How it really has this feeling of, oh hey, people are actually willing to take this kind of stuff into consideration. There are actually apparently already some games that, yeah, they do let you change the font. They do have actually just the Open Dyslexic font, which is, I mean, like anything, dyslexia is not just clear cut. For instance, the Open Dyslexic font is good for some, for others it doesn't help. I'm one of the people for who it does, and I actually use a little tool to just display generally all text on my browser in Open Dyslexic because it makes stuff easier to read. You may see it in future videos when I display something. I might have forgotten to turn off the Open Dyslexic font, and you'll see how stuff looks to me. How I make stuff look because it's easier to read. But just that feeling of, oh shit, people are actually willing to take this. Well, it almost feels like people are willing to take this seriously. For instance, the Game Maker's Toolkit, the YouTube channel with that name, also has done a series, or may still be doing a series, on the topic of designing for disability. And there he said that, oh yes, subtitles, kind of, you should be able to change how big they are. You should have the ability, or they should have a black, kind of transparent black box behind them so the text stands out more. And they should be this font, because this font is easy for people to read. I commented on that video saying, well actually, no, you shouldn't just say that all games should use this font, because different fonts are good for different people. But that was kind of a comment of just, well, screaming into the void. You know, there's just one of those thousands of comments that people leave behind on any video. Now, I left a similar comment, kind of, in Laura's video on how The Last of Us 2 does, well, accessibility amazingly. How it has stuff that even a blind person could play the game. That to me is just plain ridiculous in the best way. Just, it's a game. A So far, video games have been an extremely visual medium, and they have taken steps to make a visually great looking game into a game that someone who can't see any visuals can play. That to me it's just plain amazing. It has nearly everything. But I placed a comment on it. I actually pulled it up because I'm just that type of person. This is truly amazing. One highly specialized question I still have is if you can have different font styles. Different fonts are good for different people. For example, most people hate dyslexic focused fonts, but unsurprisingly, dyslexics often take a liking to it, as it simply makes reading easier. Now, this felt like the same as always, just screaming into the void, hey! Actually, there can be more to it. Now, I'm not going to say that I inspired her video, but I am going to say, I kind of want to just report on this feeling of, oh shit, dyslexia is actually being considered. And of course, my immediate thought about this was, oh shit, is this what other people also feel when they are finally being considered? Is this kind of the feeling that people get, kind of colorblind people, when Warframe at this stage finally is actually implementing some color blindness options? Like, on one side, great. On the other, that game has been out for fucking ages. About bloody time. But yeah, it's just such a strange experience for me. I'm not used to kind of this feeling of, oh shit, I'm being considered. Probably because, on one side, I really don't generally need to. I'm a relatively light dyslexic who can read at quite a good rate until he's been reading for, after half an hour, 3/4 of an hour, a full hour, my speed of reading starts to slow down and I become tired. This is generally not a problem for games. And my personal autism was also apparently small enough not to be, really problematic up to this point. I've only gotten that result relatively recently. So, for the most part, I don't think I need to be considered that much. On the other, people actually taking me in consideration, it's a surprisingly nice feeling. And it's just weird, and it's weird, but in that good way. So yeah, that's this rambling video. Obviously, Laura's video will be linked in the description, as will be her channel, because honestly she's amazing. Go listen to Dice Funk, she is in a lot of that. It's amazing. This video is already longer than her video on dyslexia, but yeah, this is weird to me, but weird in the best way. I'm so surprisingly happy that actually some attention is being brought to this. Even if I am not the person who relies on it, I know that other people do. And yeah, I'm very happy that some light is shown on it, and that there are actually already some indie studios who take this into consideration. That's amazing to me. But yeah, let's not make this video twice as long as her video. This has been Vinix, saying farewell.